Hi, Chonita. My name is Amber, and I was reading through your post and wanted to respond to yours. You made some really great points. First off, you were talking about, you referenced Prince or Patel, but Prince was the guy who wrote the chapter that we're studying this week. And you just brought about the issue with approaching cross-cultural psychology is when assessing a developed culture in one setting and using it in another, we have to pay really careful attention to the need for translation and adaptation. And I even loved how Prince brought out in the chapter that when you are picking even your translators, it's important that they call it forward translation and back translation, but how the translator who's translating for the culture that you're giving the assessment to should come from that culture, so that correct adaptation is taking place. And I think they also mentioned even having clinicians from that culture really speak into really adding some extra questions even to the structured clinical interviews when giving assessments in another culture. What are some things that they would add to make it more culturally relevant? So I thought that was really great. Another thing you mentioned in your post was talking about Dr. Barry from the video and discussing one of the comments that he made that you referenced is cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is a public good for society that must be accompanied by social inclusion. And the only option that's the only option when you have a diverse population. Yes, what he was saying about equality versus diversity and the importance of integration, and that while equality is very important, absolutely, and even how policy should be informed by our research. Thought that was really great too. But if we're not integrating, if we're not talking about social inclusion, as you mentioned, he called it social capital, involving two cultures, so that we can grow in resources and simply do better, right? And rather than saying, hey, here's equality, but kind of not really integrating their culture or understanding where two or more different cultures are being represented, was really great. And even when you referenced the Bible and just the compassion it has for the worth and dignity of all human beings, it just even got me thinking about Jesus and like his Sermon on the Mount. And while he did speak in parables, which I believe a lot of people didn't want to hear his message, he was speaking in such a way that the culture of that day could understand the message of the kingdom. And so I think biblically we have a great example of what it means to really reach cross-cultural communications and integrating a message that you can actually keep the heart of the content without changing it in order to be culturally relevant. So anyways, I hope you are enjoying the class, and I look forward to more discussions.